If you still have old Kennedy half dollars hiding in a drawer, then listen carefully because this changes everything. Most people are spending these coins every single day without realizing they could be throwing away hidden wealth worth serious money right into circulation. Welcome back to Lucky Penny Finds, and today we're exposing the top 3 most valuable ultra-rare Kennedy half-dollar coins hiding in plain sight. These old coins are a treasure, collectors are fighting over them, and some tiny details make them worth a silent fortune. Do not spend these coins. Check your pocket now. Check your coin jar now, because every next coin in this video gets rarer, more shocking, and worth even bigger money. Stay till the end, because the final coin is the kind of hidden treasure nobody talks about, and it could completely change your life. First coin number 1. The 1965 Kennedy half-dollar with no mint mark is one of those coins people ignore every day without even looking twice, and that is exactly why this hidden treasure keeps slipping through people's hands. At first glance, it looks old, worn, maybe even dirty, with that strange green and brown shade covering the surface, but that antique look is exactly what makes collectors stop breathing for a second when they see the right one. This is not fiction. Some of these coins are sitting unnoticed in old drawers, junk boxes, inherited collections, and even mixed into ordinary pocket change, while serious collectors quietly hunt for them behind the scenes. The moment you hold a real 1965 Kennedy half-dollar in your hand, it feels different. Heavier than modern coins. Stronger. Colder. More important, the coin carries real presence because it came from one of the most emotional years in American history. America was still grieving after the loss of President John F. Kennedy, and the nation was under pressure, uncertainty, and economic stress. The government rushed to keep Kennedy's memory alive through this half-dollar, but behind the scenes, something massive was happening in the coin world. Silver prices were exploding. People were hoarding coins. Americans were pulling silver coins out of circulation as fast as they could because they knew real silver meant real value. That panic changed everything. The United States Mint was under unbelievable pressure. In 1965, coin shortages were spreading everywhere. Vending machines needed coins. Banks were desperate, and the mint had to produce massive numbers fast. But during all that chaos, some Kennedy half-dollars came out with unusual surfaces, strange coloration, sharper details, and rare preservation that today's collectors obsess over. This specific 1965 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark became one of the quiet legends of the hobby because survival in beautiful original condition is far rarer than most people realize. And here is where people make the biggest mistake of all. They see dark toning or green and brown color and think the coin is damaged. Huge mistake. That original surface is part of the story. It is part of the history. Collectors love originality because it proves the coin survived decades naturally. Once somebody cleans the coin, wipes it, polishes it, or scrubs away that old skin, the value can collapse instantly. Never clean this coin. Never. Some people destroy a silent fortune in less than 30 seconds with a paper towel and metal polish. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything. The design itself is one of the most recognizable in American history. On the front, you see the powerful portrait of President Kennedy staring into the distance, and even today the image still carries emotion. The hair details matter. The cheek lines matter. The jawline matters. Collectors inspect every tiny feature under magnification, searching for original texture and untouched surfaces. On the reverse side, The presidential seal spreads across the coin with the eagle, shield, arrows, and stars, creating one of the boldest coinbacks ever produced in the United States. When light hits an original 1965 Kennedy half-dollar with beautiful toning, the coin almost glows with history. This coin also has a fascinating composition because 1965 was a transition year. The government was moving away from traditional silver coinage due to rising silver prices, but Kennedy half-dollars still carried a valuable silver content during this period. That means when you hold this coin, you are literally holding a piece of old American silver history from a time when the country was changing fast. The coin weighs around 11.5 grams and has a thick, solid feel that modern lightweight coins simply do not have. Its wide girth and strong edge make it feel important the second it lands in your palm. Serious collectors notice that instantly. But the real magic starts when condition enters the conversation. This particular coin, being in fine condition with beautiful green and brown shades, makes collectors extremely careful and emotional during auctions. You will not always see screaming bidding wars in public. Sometimes the most dangerous auctions are the quiet ones. A few experienced collectors enter the room. Nobody talks much, and suddenly the price keeps climbing because they know how difficult it is to find original surviving examples with untouched character. They are not buying a coin. They are buying survival. They are buying rarity hidden inside something ordinary people overlook every day. And because this coin has no mint mark, many people accidentally ignore it completely. That missing mint mark detail matters more than most people understand. In 1965, the Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins during the coin shortage crisis to discourage collectors from hoarding them. That unusual decision created a strange historical moment that makes these coins stand out forever. Tiny details like that are what secret collectors want. This is why some old coins become hidden treasure coins worth serious money while others remain ordinary forever. Today, one exceptional example of this 1965 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark, showing beautiful original color and strong preservation, reached an astonishing market value of around $146,000. That is life-changing wealth hiding inside a coin many people would spend without hesitation for 50 cents. Imagine losing that by accident at a gas station or dropping it into a vending machine. That is why rare US coins alert videos like this matter. People are literally throwing away quiet wealth every day without realizing it. Professional grading is absolutely critical for a coin like this because authenticity, originality, and surface condition decide everything. One tiny cleaning mark, one scratch, one bad storage decision can dramatically reduce collector demand. But when a coin survives naturally with original toning and honest circulation wear, collectors become obsessed. And here is the scary part. Many of these coins are disappearing into private collections forever. Strong collectors are holding them tightly and not selling. Supply keeps shrinking while demand keeps rising. That pressure is exactly what creates shocking auction prices. So before you ignore another old Kennedy half-dollar, stop and look carefully. Check the date. Check the surfaces. Look for that natural green and brown antique appearance. Feel the weight. Watch the edge. And whatever you do, do not clean the coin and do not spend this coin if you think you found one. Patience is golden in this world because one tiny detail can separate pocket change from a hidden fortune. And trust me, what comes next is even bigger. The next Kennedy half-dollar in this countdown has a detail so rare and so shocking that collectors quietly fight over it behind closed doors. Most people would never notice it, but once you see it, you will never look at your coins the same way again. Next coin, number 2. Most people would never stop to look at a 1978 Kennedy half-dollar. They see an old 50-cent coin, toss it into a jar, spend it at a store, or leave it forgotten inside a drawer for years. But what if I told you one tiny detail on this coin has turned ordinary pocket change into a hidden treasure worth serious money? This is exactly why collectors stay obsessed with Kennedy half-dollars, because some of these quiet coins are carrying silent fortunes, while the public keeps ignoring them every single day. And this 1978 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark is one of those dangerous coins people accidentally lose without even realizing it. Do not spend this coin. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything. The moment this coin appears in your hand, it already feels different from modern loose change. The silver glow, the worn but beautiful surfaces, the very fine condition, and that powerful Kennedy portrait instantly pull collectors in. Even with circulation wear, these coins carry history in a way newer coins never can. There is something almost mysterious about a Kennedy half-dollar with original surfaces and natural aging. Collectors call it character. Regular people call it old. But serious buyers know better. They know some old coins are actually hidden wealth quietly sitting in plain sight. Back in 1978, America was going through a difficult economic period, filled with inflation pressure, rising costs, uncertainty, and changing financial confidence. Families were struggling with prices climbing everywhere, and coins from this era passed through millions of hands during stressful economic times. But while most people were focused on surviving everyday life, something fascinating was happening quietly inside the coin world. Kennedy half-dollars were slowly disappearing from daily circulation because people had already started saving them. The public loved the Kennedy design, and many Americans believed these coins felt more special than ordinary change. That alone caused fewer pristine examples to survive naturally over time. Now here is where things become truly interesting. Even though millions of Kennedy half-dollars were produced across different years, certain surviving examples from 1978 developed unusual collector demand because of originality, surface preservation, silver appearance, strike sharpness, and the absence of distracting damage. Tiny details matter here. This is not fiction. Serious collectors study these coins under magnification, searching for untouched surfaces, natural glow, clean lettering, sharp hair details, and beautiful edge definition. One small difference can separate an average coin from a coin worth life-changing money. And that silver appearance on this particular 1978 Kennedy half-dollar is exactly what grabs attention immediately. The coin shines with that cold, antique silver tone collectors love, especially when combined with honest circulation wear and a very fine condition that still preserves strong visual detail. Original toning matters more than people realize. Some coins develop ugly damage from bad storage, but others age naturally into something beautiful, almost like history itself painted the surface over decades. That natural look is priceless to serious collectors. This is why cleaning coins is one of the biggest mistakes in the entire hobby. Somebody finds an old Kennedy half-dollar, thinks they are improving it, and starts rubbing away decades of natural surface history. Disaster. The moment that original skin disappears, collectors lose interest fast. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never scrub it. Even tiny hairline scratches from cleaning can destroy enormous value instantly. Originality is everything in rare coin collecting, especially for coins like this, where natural preservation creates collector obsession. When you study the front design closely, the Kennedy portrait still looks powerful decades later. The direction of his gaze, the sharp hair texture, the lettering, the date placement. Collectors inspect every tiny feature carefully. The reverse design is equally dramatic, with the presidential eagle stretching across the coin, surrounded by stars, arrows, shield details, and national symbolism that still feels bold today. Under proper lighting, a naturally preserved 1978 Kennedy half-dollar can almost look alive. That is why secret collectors want coins with untouched surfaces and natural aging instead of cleaned, shiny examples that lost their original soul. The physical feel of the coin matters too. Kennedy half-dollars carry weight and presence the second they touch your hand. This coin weighs approximately 11.34 grams with a strong round girth of about 30.6 millimeters and a thickness near 2.15 millimeters. It feels solid, important, real. That heavy feel alone makes many collectors emotional because it reminds them of an older era of American coinage, when coins felt valuable instead of disposable. Now here is where the hidden treasure story becomes even more shocking. The missing mint mark matters far more than most people understand. Many collectors instantly check for mint marks because small production differences can completely change rarity and desirability. A 1978 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark creates immediate curiosity among collectors searching for unusual survivors, especially when the coin carries attractive silver surfaces and strong preservation. Tiny details like that create enormous auction interest because advanced buyers know these coins are getting harder to find, naturally untouched. And the auction world around rare Kennedy half-dollars is intense in ways most people never see publicly. Some of the biggest sales happen quietly. Experienced collectors sit silently while prices climb higher and higher because nobody wants to lose an important coin. There is tension in the room. One bidder hesitates. Another raises instantly. Suddenly, the coin reaches shocking territory because collectors know supply keeps shrinking every year. People either damage these coins, clean them, spend them accidentally, or lock them away forever in private collections. That is exactly why demand keeps rising. Fewer beautiful original examples survive every year, while more collectors enter the market hunting hidden treasure coins connected to American history. And once collectors secure exceptional Kennedy half-dollars, many refuse to sell them again. They hold them for decades because they understand what most people still do not. These coins represent quiet wealth hiding in plain sight. Today, one extraordinary example of this 1978 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark, showing beautiful silver surfaces and very fine preservation, reached an incredible market value of around $147,000. Think about that for a second. A coin people casually ignore or spend at face value, becoming a silent fortune worth more than many houses. That is why rare coins create such obsession. One overlooked detail can completely change a person's future. If you ever find a 1978 Kennedy half-dollar, slow down immediately and inspect it carefully. Look at the surfaces under light. Watch for original silver appearance, natural aging, strong lettering, and clean details. Never rush to clean it. Never assume wear means worthless. Many collectors actually prefer honest, circulated originality because it proves the coin survived naturally through decades of American history. Professional grading is absolutely critical because authentication and condition decide everything at this level of value. And trust me, what comes next is even more unbelievable. The next Kennedy half dollar in this countdown carries a detail so rare, so dangerous to overlook, that some collectors call it one of the biggest hidden fortune coins ever discovered in circulation. Most people spend it without a second thought. But once you know what to look for, you may never see pocket change the same way again. Next coin, number 3. If you think you've already seen the most dangerous hidden treasures in pocket change, stop right there. Because this 1968 Kennedy half dollar with a D mint mark is the kind of coin that fools people every single day. It looks ordinary. It looks like it belongs in loose change. It looks like something you would spend without even thinking twice. And that is exactly how people are accidentally losing silent fortunes worth serious money right in front of their eyes. Do not spend this coin. Check your pocket right now, because what you're about to hear is not something most people ever notice until it's gone forever. This is the 1968 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark, and at first glance, it carries that deep gray wave-like toning across the surface that makes it look aged, almost mysterious, like it has survived something important. That surface is not random. That is history sitting on metal. When collectors see that natural gray wave tone, they don't see damage. They see survival. They see originality. They see a coin that was never cleaned, never tampered with, and never stripped of its identity. And in the world of rare Kennedy half dollars, originality is everything. Now listen closely, because this year matters more than most people realize. In 1968, America was still in the middle of a powerful economic transition. Inflation pressure was building, society was changing fast, and coin production was still affected by earlier silver shortages. People were already starting to pull coins aside, saving anything that looked special, and spending less time thinking about what was actually passing through their hands. That is exactly how coins like this slipped through decades unnoticed. The United States Mint in Denver produced this coin under intense demand, and during that process, something interesting happened. The strike quality, the surface texture, and the way the metal flowed into the design created subtle variations that collectors today obsess over. Not every 1968 with D Kennedy half dollar looks the same. Some come out soft, some come out sharp, and a very small number survive with strong detail, natural toning, and original surfaces that make collectors stop instantly. And when you hold one, you feel it immediately. This is not a lightweight modern coin. This Kennedy half dollar carries weight, presence, and authority in your hand. It weighs about 11.34 grams, has a strong 30.6 millimeters diameter, and a thick, solid structure around 2.15 millimeters that gives it that deep, metallic feel collectors recognize instantly. It feels like history. It feels like something that should not be ignored. Now the composition is where things get even more important. This 1968 with D Kennedy half dollar is part of the 40% silver era, meaning it contains a silver-clad structure that gives it a different tone, a different shine, and a completely different collector demand compared to modern coins. That silver content is one of the reasons collectors pay close attention to these years, because they represent the final phase of silver Kennedy half dollars before the transition away from precious metal circulation coins. But here's where people make the biggest mistake. They see that gray wave toning and think the coin is dirty or damaged. That is the fastest way to destroy value. That toning is not dirt. That is natural aging. That is decades of environmental interaction forming a unique surface identity. Once someone tries to clean it, polish it, or fix it, the entire coin loses its originality instantly. And in rare coin collecting, originality is the difference between ordinary change and a hidden treasure. The design itself is iconic. On the front, you see President Kennedy's portrait, still powerful after decades, still carrying emotional weight. The fine details in the hair, the sharpness of the jawline, and the lettering around the edge are exactly what collectors examine under magnification. On the back, the presidential seal spreads across the coin, with the eagle holding arrows and olive branches, surrounded by stars and bold symbolism that still feels strong today. When the light hits the natural surface of a well-preserved example, the entire design comes alive in a way modern coins simply don't. Now here is where rarity quietly becomes dangerous. A 1968 with D. Kennedy $half in very fine condition, with original grey wave toning, is not something you see everywhere. Most of them were spent, damaged, cleaned, or lost in circulation over time. The surviving examples with strong eye appeal are shrinking every year. Collectors know this. That is why demand keeps rising while supply keeps disappearing. And in the collector world, something interesting happens at auctions. It doesn't always look dramatic from the outside. Sometimes it is quiet, controlled, focused. But inside, serious collectors are competing with silent intensity. They don't want to lose a well-preserved original example because they know how rare it is becoming. This is where bidding starts climbing, not because of hype, but because of scarcity and knowledge. Advanced collectors understand what the public still doesn't see. One exceptional example of this 1968 with D. Kennedy $half with strong, natural grey wave toning and very fine preservation has reportedly reached around $150,000 in high-level collector demand situations where originality and condition align perfectly. That is the power of rarity combined with history. That is hidden wealth sitting inside something most people would casually spend without a second thought. So here is the warning you need to remember forever. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. And do not assume it is just old change. The smallest detail can completely change its story. Look for original surfaces. Look for natural toning. Look for sharp design details that haven't been erased by time or cleaning. Because sometimes, the difference between pocket change and life-changing opportunity is something most people overlook in a single second. And now, we reach the end of today's journey. But this is not the end of the story. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Lucky Penny Finds right now, because what we uncover next will shock you even more. The next hidden coin is even rarer, even more unexpected, and even more dangerous to ignore. And once you see it, you'll never look at everyday change the same way again. Stay tuned, because the biggest hidden treasure is still waiting.